very special election night episode of
Tools and Tea Time
On Tuesdays with Tim and Anna.
All right, and some of you know this, some of you don't, but it is a very special day because it is my very first chance to vote on an election year. I became a citizen of the United States in February, right before COVID hit and closed everything. So I went to the polling place and I voted in person, and I was super excited.
Hey, Anna. We're so happy you are with us and your voice is being heard.
All right, so we are very excited to have you guys here today, and we brought some Chuck Norris jokes for you, and we're going to do a poll today, and this is completely meaningless. It's only for fun because, you know, we just got to have a little fun today. So you have a choice. You can pick your favorite Chuck Norris joke, and it goes from Chuck Norris, rock, paper, scissors, or maybe Chuck Norris using pepper spray to season his steaks. And you could have a near Chuck Norris experience, or, you know, if you're Chuck Norris, you're going to avoid April Fools because nobody fools Chuck Norris. And finally, you might want to pick the Chuck Norris drinking coronavirus. So right. I'm going to start the poll.
I'll go ahead and launch it, Anna.
Just pick your favorite one.
I just launched it. I
got the wrong poll.
I just launched it, Anna.
You did?
Yeah, can you guys see it?
All right.
Can't see it? Okay, we better relaunch it.
Okay, let me try again.
Okay.
Can you guys see it now?
Oh, there you go.
All right, so pick your favorite Chuck Norris joke just for fun. All right, let's give it another 5 seconds. Okay, here we go. We're gonna end the poll. Okay. Relaunch poll 2. Maybe that's what it is.
Did you show us the results? Yeah, let's see.
I know it's not showing the results. So.
Well, I can't see it, but sometimes they can. Can you guys see the results? Okay, maybe we need to relaunch it.
Okay, let's try one more time. And there's a few more people, so maybe.
Yeah, Ugo's letting people in, so we're good.
We'll
get some more votes.
Okay, so relaunch poll 2. Let's try that. Can you guys pick your favorite Chuck Norris joke again? Can you see it?
I don't know. Are they going to throw these election results out? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't see anybody.
This is suspect.
Voting. So I don't know if it's working or not.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Let me see if I can see anybody voting.
Right now it's 0 out of 12. Well, guess what?
Okay.
All right. I'm going to jump in. I can actually see some results here.
Oh,
great.
Okay.
Looks like we are looking at 42% of you said rock, paper, scissors. Near Chuck experience, that was 8%. Pepper spray is seasoning, 17%. Nobody fools Chuck, 17%. And Chuck Norris and coronavirus, 17%. So we got a clear winner with rock, paper, scissors.
All right.
There you go.
Ugo,
thanks.
Thank you for saving the day.
Yeah,
right.
I think we have 3 people on the same Zoom account, and maybe Ugo's the only one that can see it. So, okay.
Once again,
all right.
on this show.
Well, because Chuck Norris made an appearance, and I happen to know that our guest, Sheri, really likes Chuck Norris. We're just going to keep on going with that theme. But before that, Tim, would you like to take us on our tea time roadmap?
Yeah, we're going to start out as we do each week with our important fan mail from our imaginary fan base, asking a question related to things people are working on right now. And then I think after that, Anna, if you, we're going to look at this week's, that'll reveal this week's theme. And then we will move right on to this week's guest who will share her favorite tool that we hope you will find useful, followed by everybody's favorite last part, which is where you get to talk to each other about what you're doing already like this or what you hope you might do after hearing Sheri's interesting ideas. So, moving along.
All right, so hold on to your hats because we do have a very special guest today. All right, so Tim and Anna, I know I'm a tough guy, but I feel the need to get in touch with my softer side. Maybe it's COVID, I don't know, but can you share some ways educators are connecting with kids these days? Even a Texas Ranger like me needs a little SEL once in a while. Thanks, Chuck.
Chuck.
All right. So we're so excited that Chuck came to join us in multiple ways today. So we are going to talk today about the magic of morning meeting, and Sheri Olson is our special guest. Sheri is a counselor. She's an SEL counselor at Second Creek Elementary, which happens to be near and dear to my heart. And Sheri's going to take over here in a minute. She'll introduce herself to you, and she will share some slides. So I'm going to stop sharing, Sheri. And I will let you go ahead and share
Okay,
your slides.
that sounds great. Before I put the slides up, I'm just gonna briefly tell you a little bit about myself. So Anna did say that I'm the SEL counselor here at Second Creek, and one of my favorite things to do is talk about SEL. So in thinking about SEL, one of the things that we do, and hopefully I can do this correctly, share sound, look at this. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, hopefully my screen is being shared as we're talking. But one of my favorite things that I like to do in terms of SEL is to talk about those connection pieces. So I also love being a bison. So as Anna mentioned, I am from Second Creek, and our Buffy is our mascot. I think I have Buffy in the house right here anyway. And so I love everything bison. So in thinking about the magic of a morning meeting, I often like to start with Whitney Houston. She is one of my favorite folks. If you need a little Whitney, just know that in the link to this presentation, there's a YouTube video. But basically, I mean, these words really resonate. I do believe that the children are the future. It's important for us to teach them. It's important for us to give them that sense of pride, the sense of who they are, equip them with everything that they possibly need to navigate life. You all are busy doing the academic side, and I also know that you are also doing the SEL side every day. And that's the squishy things, but the most important things. So there's a little quote from my friend, Miss Whitney. And to get us going and thinking about connection, you know, back in March when the corona came to visit us, we all left school, and we really were concentrating and focusing on how we are making those connections with our students. And this was on the marquee outside of our building. Everything is canceled but love. We are in this together but apart. And so that kind of sets the stage for morning meeting. I'm going to go through how we do that when we're face to face, but then also how we can apply that when we're virtual, as we are gathered in this meeting as well. So the important things or the takeaways in terms of those morning meetings, they're really setting the tone for the day, how we are going to get started, helping us learn from each other and learn from, and to just learn some basic things like names. Everybody wants to be recognized with their name, right? And in so doing, hopefully we grow those opportunities to connect and to really have, to solidify some of those friendships or to start those growing. We also, in having a morning meeting, it's that sense of recognition. You don't need to be the smartest kid in the class. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but math was never my thing, not to offend our math folks. I just never made that connection to math. Had somebody told me that I was going to be connecting with math in the future as I cross-stitched, I probably would have paid attention a little bit more, just saying. So all kids, it gives them that sense of recognition, belonging, just because they are who they are, and then it allows them to practice those skills. All right. So here are the major nuts and bolts of a morning meeting. Now, some of this information is actually taken from our favorite authors. I'm not sure if you all have heard about the responsive classroom before, but these are ideas whether you're in pre-K all the way up to high school, right? So we can incorporate a morning meeting or even a morning greeting, a modified version of the morning meeting, but just really greeting, connecting, and those kind of things. So there are some resources here that I use. The 80-minute morning meeting ideas, and this is the book for 3-6, and then there's a book for K2 as well. And I think in this presentation, in the notes section, these are actually available for you, so you'll have a reference. And I'm going to add these next ones in here as well. These are how to get started in the morning greeting. So these are some ways to energize. And then 2 more books, just because I love resources. If I let you take a tour of my office, you would see I have tons and tons of resources. But then there's also this morning meeting book, and then the first 6 weeks of school. So all of these are a wealth of ideas, but it really comes down to the 4 major components of that morning meeting, right? So you have that greeting piece, which is that warm, friendly, we are in this together. Also an opportunity to share. We're gonna go through this in a minute. I really like to do a sharing around the 5 major components of CASTLE, and I'll talk to you in a minute about that. And then have a small group activity. That could be where a book like this could come in handy, just giving you some quick ideas. And then simple morning message, right? So what is it that you're looking at? I did put a link to YouTube down here so you could see that in action. Some of you might be wondering how you can do this in a virtual setting. And there would be some modifications, but really some of this stuff is done in some great success. It's having a common opener that is a way to greet everybody, a way that everybody can share. So maybe a quick popcorn, maybe a pulling of sticks, those kind of things, but just so everybody gets an opportunity. Having a group activity, which I'm so excited to show you a tool here pretty quick, and then that morning message. Okay, so here at Second Creek, one of the things that we have encouraged folks to center their morning message around is our 5 rocks behavior. And that has to do with respect, ownership, collaboration, kindness, and safety. Now, we just didn't pull those out of the hat. Those are actually incorporated with our PBIS system here at Second Creek. So as you can see, or I hope where you're getting the layers going on, is we're really trying to take something that we're already doing and also then layering, for example, our morning meeting on top of it. So you're not just pulling things out of the air, it's building on each other. One of the other things that we use in thinking about building on that morning meeting is, I'm not sure if you all are aware, but CASTLE is, and I'm going to mess it up a little bit, so I believe it's oh my goodness, I just missed the C. So it's the collaboration. Oh, I'm sorry, is there a question?
No,
Okay.
we're doing good. I'll look up
Okay.
CASTLE for you because I love CASTLE. I just always call them CASTLE.
Okay, I believe it's the Collaboration for Academic and Social Emotional Learning. And I'm gonna hit my button because I had to have a quick thing to do. So it's that self-awareness, self-management, responsible decision-making, relationship skills, and the social interaction. So in here, I have a couple resources to share. I know we're going to be breaking out in a minute, but I want to show you this really cool, the tool for Quaver SEL. This is brand new. Some of you all may have had Quaver or no Quaver from the music side. There's a strong connection with the music ed, but let me move you guys really quick over here. So I just want to show you super quick what kind of tools, that they have. Oh, let me do this. Let me try again.
While you're doing that, Sheri, you were correct. It's the Collaborative for Social and Emotional Learning. So,
whew, there we go. So this is the cool thing in Quaver. Everybody gets a teacher dashboard, and the link that I've shared with you, you actually have 30 days free trial to utilize this. This is right now a pre-K through 5, and I know we have some middle school and high school teachers on here, but you can adapt. They are looking to increase the grades, but truly they have just rolled this out. So some of the things that they have in here is they have a walkthrough PD. So this arm teaches you how to use the tool. It has different resources and those kind of things. But this aligns to the CASTLE SEL frameworks. So as you can see on the bottom, it's tied in, their lessons are tied into that, all those 5 competencies. And there's a plus feature. Those kind of things are bullying, for example, that are in there. But what I want to show you is that they also have a scope and sequence. So when you pull this up, it also looks at the overall competency, what the lesson is, and how those all fuse together. So that is a quick drive-by. I would really encourage all of you to take the opportunity, if you will, to check out Quaver, because it's a really cool tool that you can use when you're planning your morning meeting.
Great.
And I think I tried to get right on the button there.
You did very well, Sheri. You really did. So we are going to, oh, I didn't have that slide. Okay, we are going to go into our breakout rooms, and we would like to ask it, well, breakout room number 1, if you're breakout room number 1, can you stay with us so we can record the conversation for people that access our recordings later? So
in other words,
Tim's
don't accept
your breakout prompt,
Yep.
and I will share that on
I'll put the prompt in the chat, and if you're in breakout group 1, don't accept the invitation to go to breakout. Just stay right here with us. Thank you. Where did the chat go? There we go. I'll put it in the chat, and then I think I have to do it again once you're in the breakout because you may not see it in the breakout.
Okay.
So
So do you want to
Yeah.
read the breakout prompt?
Yeah,
Should we just go to it?
No, I think we should read it. The prompt you're going to be discussing is morning meetings something that you already do or might want to include in your daily routine. Share ideas that you have or you might want to try based on Sheri's presentation. If you don't have your own homeroom, say in secondary, how could you incorporate something of that at the beginning of a period when you do teach students? If you work in an informal education institution like a zoo, how could you institute a little of that morning meeting element at the beginning of the session you're going to do with your students, with the students that come to the museum or the zoo or the botanic gardens?
All right. So if you're a teacher in the breakout room, do you guys do morning meeting, or do you have any specific questions for Sheri?
Yeah, John, I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you mind if we start with you? Do you have a homeroom but you're teaching 5th grade now. So do you have those kids no, I'm sorry, 6th grade. Yeah. Do you have
I have them in the morning. And so Mondays, we usually start with just how are you doing? And it takes so long to get through each kid and to unmute and, hey, are you there? But we just do a simple hello. And sometimes I interact with the kid about I don't say, what did you do this weekend? I said, what's something you're going to remember? I think that's, we always say, what'd you do? And then they forget. But I mean, think about it. If you tell the story about what you did, then you're going to remember it. What's something you're going to remember?
Yeah.
Girl, she said, I went to my mom's best friend and her son died. Just stuff you don't never know what's coming up.
Yeah.
Tuesday, we do an activity. I do an activity with them. Wednesday and Thursday, we are in Leader in Me, which is a Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People activities. And then on Friday, we do a whole team celebration. So we give out certificates and we play a little fun movie or video.
I bet that goes a long ways toward building relationship.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's during our office hours, that's when I build a lot more relationships.
Does your school have like a comprehensive social emotional learning sort of curriculum that you're supposed to do during the year, or? Yeah,
well, Leader in Me, it's called. It's a whole program out of Stephen Covey, but this is like the book.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, it's great stuff. So there's it has like a week, and so you go through each week, and there are videos, and there's a whole teacher book with it that you go through to support it. So yeah, it's quite extensive. And then I take with kids who don't have it at home, with the book at home, because we did pass it out, I take the page and I put it on Cami. It's where you can take the PDF and then they can highlight and write notes. And so I link them to that and they open it.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Richard, what about you? Do you have like a homeroom, or do you have a first period of the day where you have sort of a morning meeting?
I do. I have, we call it T-Bird time. And we've been hybrid where we're seeing kids 2 days out of the week. And then, half of our students, and then the other half on other 2 days a week. But it's looking more and more like we might be going remote soon. So then we will see our homeroom class every day of the week. And so that's why I saw your email and I thought, oh, this might be really helpful because we don't really have a plan for what to do with that time. And so this would be really helpful to have kind of a morning minute. But we do have a set of curriculum for SEL. We use something called Second Step. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Oh yeah.
But the kids seem to like it. They like the little videos, and it'll just be interesting because we're joining together the two cohorts that were separate until this time, and so they kind of will get to meet a whole new set of kids that were in their class, but not coming to school together. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how they blend.
So are you in a middle school as well?
Yeah, I teach 8th grade science.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the other thing for consideration as we go virtual, we do have, I have a colleague that actually has a check-in sheet. So it's a simple Google Doc that people can put in. So for, and they just do it all online. But the form goes out and then it's got 4 questions. So for the older kids, you can actually write a prompt. For the younger kids, you can do some clip art or some different things so they could pick a picture. But basically it's, how are you doing? Do you need to talk to me later? Is there anything that I can do for you? Just 4 simple, quick check-in kind of points, and then maybe that'll help collapse some of the time. Then you can get back to it a little bit later, so you don't have to respond right then in the moment, but then you can respond to it, especially if someone's like, I'm just really struggling today, I need some help. So just have some quick questions like that could help as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We've done something called a conversation calendar before, where we've had a place where, you know, do you want to ask us something, and then they give it back, and then we write, you know, a question to that, or try to pull out more information from it. But that seems like a good way to try to do it electronically.
Yeah,
especially
and
with the Google Doc.
Well, and I would also reach out. So if you do have support in the building, like someone like me, your school psych, school social worker, that they could help with that check-in as well with the kiddos.
Sure.
You know, something I had a lot of success with in my last teaching position, which was middle school, and I had like a homeroom group, was that everybody would sort of identify an area on their own where they needed support. And I would give them examples. I'd say, like, if you know that you are struggling with your grades in a particular subject, or if you know that you know, you're getting detentions a lot, or if you just know that, you know, right now you're going through a lot with your friends or your family, think of what it is and how we collectively can try to work together to support you in that. And then I would just kind of facilitate the discussion, but it was less that, you know, I was going to be there to get you through 6th grade, but more like, how are you going to get each other through 6th grade? And I'd have a kid who would say things like, well, you know, I never do very well in math, and I'm afraid I'm going to flunk math. I'm flunking, and it's the end of the first quarter. And another kid would say, oh, well, you know, I do pretty good in math, and maybe we could work over lunch. I'd be glad to sit down with you, and we could work on it together over lunch. And can you help me with this? But the idea that was that everybody had to identify one place where they needed some kind of support. And then everybody tried to pool their resources to make sure. And then at the end, we'd have, you know, like we'd have a big celebration then if a kid passed math, or if a kid felt like they felt better about going home at the end of the day, or whatever it was. And, you know.
That's great. Well, Tim, we're back. We're all back. And we appreciate everybody's time, because we've reached the end, my friends. And all the episode resources are going to be in the folder. Tim shared that earlier, but it is the tiny URL. You can scan it. You can put that on your browser. Sheri has shared some really awesome resources with us, including a link to Quaver. And the recording of this episode will be archived on our website at dmsn.org.
Let's give Sheri some jazz hands. We appreciate you coming and sharing your ideas with us. Thank you very much. And we hope that we'll see you back next week when our special guest will be Andrew Watson. Andrew Watson is sort of a nationally known author. Oh, yes, Adrian's done a workshop with him. So you got a voucher there that it's not just our great idea. And he's coming in, we're piping him in from Boston. He is sort of an expert in the area of like mind and brain education. And he's going to talk a little bit about, do you have that situation where your students are saying, this is too much, we can't get this all done, this is overwhelming, and you're feeling like we're not getting half of what we used to get done at school going on? And he's got some great ideas for how you can think about working memory online and how some great ideas for how you can help support them in that particular aspect. So we hope we'll see you here next week for him. If you had a good time, invite your friends to join us, and we hope that you'll let us know how we can support you. As always, send us your great ideas as well for new shows from our real fan base, if you really are. Okay.
Yeah, and we hope that we'll see you next week. And in the meantime, you know, Chuck Norris is giving you a little message.
He's saying, if you haven't, get out and vote. Yay!